Hello, travelers. I'm Judd Kobler, game director for
I just want to know if he's single. Dude, that's my type of guy right here.
Last Epoch and founder of 11.
If you guys want to know if you're my type, well, go look in a mirror. If you look like this guy, you're my type.
Hour games. I'm excited to tell you more about the long-anticipated content coming in Season 2, called Tombs of the Erased, releasing on April 17th. For Season 2, we took more time and focused on the things that our players were telling us they'd like to see next, like expanding the endgame, more content variety, balance, and more. Season 2 is truly a massive update, and there's plenty to cover, so let's dive in.
Let's dive in.
In Season 2, you're introduced to the Woven, a new in-game faction. Their followers worship the Weaver, a titan who seeks to create a new world free from the void and other imperfections.
Physics.
When exploring the Monolith of Fate, you'll encounter procedurally generated tombs and cemetery side zones,
does the game actually
in which the
look
Weaver
like
has
this?
been experimenting
I
with
forgot
souls
what
and
this
memories
game
to make
looked
her
like.
new world. The Woven seek to perfect the Weaver's design by sending the traveler to the tombs and cemeteries to cull her flawed creations. These tomb and cemetery side zones are the foundation for interacting with our new in-game systems in Season 2.
They updated
Inside
the
these
graphics.
zones, you'll
It's
find
very
the Woven,
colorful.
who have captured souls for the Weaver and wrap them in
now.
cocoons. Breaking these cocoons open will release the souls, which will then flee and possess nearby enemies.
But PoE
Possessed
2
enemies
and
gain new
D4
abilities
definitely
and
make this
increased health
game look
and
worse.
damage. And when slain, drop Memory Amber, a new currency used in the Weaver faction. You'll want to collect as much Memory Amber as you can throughout the zones. Tombs and cemeteries will end with a unique boss fight that, if completed, will reward you with the ability to access the Woven Enchanter, which can enchant one of your class-specific.
This menu looks good though, chat. I don't know if you I love that. That UI, this menu, this looks good. It looks crisp, way better than PoE. Yeah. I like the way this looks.
Idols.
Oof, worst camera angle. You don't like top down and inverted look? Not inverted. Isometric.
An idol via the Woven Enchanter will add a new affix of a random tier and an amount of Weaver's Touch. Weaver's Touch is converted to randomly upgrade the affix applied and or add an additional affix to the idol that can also be upgraded if there's additional Weaver's Touch to be converted, much like the Weaver's Will mechanic. These may have up to 2 enchanted affixes total. This conversion of Weaver's Touch happens as you gain experience while having the idol equipped. The first enchantment of an idol is free. Re-enchanting the same idol costs Memory Amber each time and rerolls a new enchantment affix, replacing the previous affixes. To keep non-class idols competitive, we've added new idol subtypes with more powerful modifiers as well. Completing a cemetery, the larger of the 2 types of side zones, will also give access to an altar of the Weaver. Altars are used to place the Weaver's constructed realities into the Echo Web, which take form as and are called Woven Echoes.
Not the Echo Web.
Woven Echoes are a new special itemized type of echoes, glimpses into the Weaver's new world that introduce a lot of exciting new content and rewards to Last Epoch's endgame. These drop from enemies within tombs and cemeteries and can be purchased from the Woven faction NPC, Mask.
So dark, PoE
Woven
and
Echoes
D4.
will provide new challenges and objectives, such as access to brand new bosses like the Draw Queen and Ignixeros the Antipote Dragon, or enhanced versions of existing bosses like Majasa with new abilities, and even an Uber version of the pinnacle boss Aberoth introduced in Season 1. But beware, defeating Uber Aberoth is only accomplishable by the most skilled players and powerful characters in Eterra. There are many powerful rewards tied to Woven Echoes, such as unique forges giving you special ways to craft items not found anywhere else in the game, access to new unique items only found by defeating these bosses, and even ways to accelerate in-game progression for alt characters by bringing a timeline's corruption up to match the corruption of another character's timeline. We'll go over some Woven Echoes momentarily. So far, there are 37 different types of Woven Echoes being introduced with Season 2 and more to come. Once you've found and completed your first cemetery, you'll catch the attention of
Elly
Mask,
on April
the Weaver's
17th?
High Priest, who will bring you to the Haven of Silk to tell you more about the Woven and then invite you to join them. Joining and gaining rank with the Woven will allow you to unlock more Woven Echoes and give you access and points to spend in the new Weaver's Tree. The
on
Weaver's
Last
Tree allows you
Epoch.
to influence the encounters and rewards in the Monolith of Fate,
But I plan
providing
to
more
play both.
agency over your in-game experience. Some options include having a chance for Arena Echoes to be replaced with Super Arena Echoes, which contain champion enemies, or having items with Weaver's Will be rolled twice and keeping the higher value of the two, or sometimes letting a Shade of Orbis ambush you in your Echoes for additional drops and challenge. Some key nodes allow items and woven echoes to be imprinted into the tree, yielding different effects. Like imprinting a woven echo, giving it a chance to spawn in your echo web without placing it via the altar of the Weaver in cemeteries. Or imprint an item to make it so that an item of the same type and rarity is granted as an additional reward when completing echoes.
So I think I could do both.
Or imprint an item and there will be a chance for enemies in regular echoes to drop a pile of items similar to the imprinted one. There are many fun and exciting options in the Weaver's Tree that allow you to shape your end-game experience and loot hunt. We can't wait to hear your feedback. Now that we've covered the basics, let's talk about a bit more of the interesting itemization and crafting options coming with Season 2, largely enabled via these woven echoes. In Season 2, we're introducing set item crafting, which can be accessed via the Great Bridge Woven Echo. Shattering a set item grants you 1 to 4 set affix shards you can then use to craft your own
Schedule 1 is
reforged set
in
items.
incentivizing you
Each
to
set
do
item
what?
is associated with one specific shard unique to that set item that when crafted onto an item makes it act as that set item. This means that you can craft your own reforged set items that count for the set's
that's
bonuses.
huge.
And
This
you can mix and match
crafting?
these by using the original
Take
set items
note!
together with the reforged set items.
This
You
crafting
can craft
is
these onto
good.
different item subtypes. Only one type of set affix shard can be applied to any individual item, and this item cannot be
Dude,
used
this-
in legendary
this is
crafting
nice
via the
crafting.
Eternity Cache. We're also adding the ability to re-roll the legendary potential of uniques via the Farsight Turtle Woven Echo. The unique must have at least one legendary potential. Re-rolling the legendary potential possesses quite a significant risk.
I wanna shower
as
the
if the
enemies
legendary
with
potential fails
lightning
to go up,
meteors.
it will instead go down all the way to 0. This is a worthy risk, as many times to get an upgrade, you need to have more than one legendary potential. And even in the case that it ends up going down to 0, you can then attempt to upgrade it again via the Nemesis Egg, providing multiple new chances to turn an
Oh,
item that might
shoot,
not be an
chat.
upgrade into an upgrade. In the Orden's Watch Woven Echo, you can replace attributes, strength, dexterity, attunement, or intelligence, with another, as long as the affix isn't sealed.
Okay.
This costs 1 forging potential from the item. The tier and roll range of the replaced affix will be preserved for the new affix. In the Gauntlet of
Ooh.
Strife Woven Echo, you'll be challenged by a sequence of boss encounters, and by completing, you'll be rewarded with access to the Sacrificial Altar, which can be used to
Is this
sacrifice
Last
unique,
Epoch? It
legendary,
is.
Weaver's Will item, or set item to re-roll the mod and implicit
It's
values
looking
of
good,
a matching
man.
item. The item being sacrificed needs to have equal or greater legendary potential or Weaver's Will. Rune of Research and Glyph of Insight have been removed and replaced by the Thaumaturgy device at the end of the Rune Prison Complex Woven Echo, where you can replace a prefix with an experimental affix on boots, gloves, or a belt. This makes the process
Boots
of
and belts
crafting
and boots and
experimental
belts.
affixes much simpler. The exiled mages you encounter will have a chance to drop this Woven Echo. We're also adding some brand new crafting materials,
faster
such as
too.
Rune of Weaving, which speeds
Yeah.
up your Weaver's Will and Weaver's Touch item conversions. Using a Rune of Weaving will convert some Weaver's Will or Touch to add additional affixes or affix tiers, like you would gain by slaying enemies with the item equipped. Rune of Havoc,
Slay,
which shuffles
queen.
the tiers of affixes of an
Slay.
exalted item. Sealed affixes are unaffected by this action.
Hello, cool.
For example, you could potentially use the Rune of Havoc to change
Hello,
Tier
hello,
1 Strength
ni hao,
to Tier
ni hao,
7
ni
on an
hao.
item that had a different affix at Tier 7 previously. Rune of Redemption, which rerolls exalted affixes to other affixes, preserving tier and roll range. Again, sealed affixes are unaffected. Another
Good
crafting
night,
update we believe you
Vaseline.
guys will be excited about
Thank you
is
so much
when
for
using
hanging
the
out.
Eternity
Good night,
Cache
good
in
night.
Temporal Sanctum, Tier 2 or above, you may now select one affix that is guaranteed to be applied to the legendary
Thank you
that
for
you're
hanging
about to
out.
create. Season 2 brings an additional challenge for players with newly introduced champion enemies that spawn in the campaign, monolith, and dungeon. Champions are powerful versions
What
of
class
enemies
you're
with
gonna
additional
play?
and
Something
alternate
I've
abilities
never played
that spawn
before.
with 3 additional random
Like,
modifiers,
maybe like
including
Flame.
one champion mod.
Flame Sork.
They drop extra loot when killed and even have
Yeah,
a
like a
small
fire
chance to drop
mage.
much rarer loot, like a pile of unique
Yeah.
items. Champions also always drop an item with a sealed champion affix that depends on the champion's mod. For
I
example,
enjoyed your
a volcano
game.
champion will always drop a
I
belt with a
enjoyed you.
volcano champion's affix. These mods have unique affixes rarely seen elsewhere and can be very powerful when used with the correct builds. We've made many updates to both the monolith and dungeons. Monoliths have new objectives, like slaying enemies until a cocooned item drops, which is a unique item that has a higher chance to have legendary potential when identified,
Oh!
or the need to seal deadly void rifts that had begun appearing in the echoes. You can now reach empowered monoliths on alts much more quickly, as we've made characters in the same environment share Monolith of Fate timeline unlocks. We've improved arenas by having enemy waves spawn more quickly, and increased enemies' movement speed so that they don't take as long to reach you. And we've updated Echo Spire objectives, so that the spires are guarded by a mini-boss and only attack you once you've engaged the Guardian. This means that they will no longer shoot at you from all the way across the map. For dungeons, we're introducing dungeon charms, which can modify a dungeon run. We're introducing 2 charms with this patch, one of which is called a portal charm that can be used to immediately...
I was actually about to comment on Lower Chaos Dungeon when he said the mobs spawn faster and come at you. I was like, wait, that could have been really good for Lost Ark.
Portal to the boss of a dungeon and gain a random assortment of mods that you would have gained along the way. We've also added the Black Market Key Trader to Majelka's Upper District in the Divine Era, where you can exchange any 3 dungeon keys for a portal charm. In dungeons, you can now use a key to respawn either on the floor you've gotten to or at the boss, instead of needing to repeat the entire dungeon. Please, don't test this as a hardcore character. It will not save you.
It will
In Season
not save
2,
you.
the Sentinel class is receiving a ton of updates, from small adjustments to skills to fully reworking others. Paladin and Void Knight are receiving major overhauls to their mastery passive trees, and Forge Guard is receiving...
Is this AI? Or is there like a person reading this? I'm having a tough time trying to... I don't know if it's AI or it's a person narrating this.
Some additions, like a passive allowing them to wield a 2-handed weapon and a shield at the same time. Volatile Reversal has been completely reworked, including a brand new skill tree. By default, it is now a combo traversal skill, where the first use of the skill sends you forward in time to a location to strike enemies in an area, while the second use sends you back in time to your original location, once again striking enemies in that area. You can build for melee or spell damage, and the tree offers some great interaction with other skills like Devouring Orb. We've renamed Sigils of Hope to Symbols of Hope to free up the term for the planned skill sigil system coming later, and have updated its functionality. Symbols of Hope now automatically generate symbols for you, meaning no spending mana or stopping to cast it. Actively using the ability now consumes the symbols to grant ward and temporary damage reduction. Devouring Orb at a baseline now also deals void damage over time in an area around it, and these damaging areas can stack. Its skill tree has been updated with cool new possibilities.
I love the skill tree in Last Epoch.
Including a node that instantly casts it for you whenever you move. No more numlock
It's
needed,
so
and no
nice,
more getting
dude.
interrupted every time it casts. Most Sentinel skills received a variety of small to moderate updates to improve their power and offer additional build options. Examples include Multi-Strike that has been given more support to deal single target damage
it's pretty
by
simple.
allowing additional swords
Pretty
to hit the same
straightforward.
target. Vengeance has been updated
With
to include
enough,
conversions to both fire and
versatility,
void.
too.
Rive can now be converted to void. Javelin's Divine Fury and Siege Barrage nodes now work together. Hammer Throw has received buffs to non-spiraling nodes. Shield Throw no longer has a cooldown at base and has a node to allow it
Elly,
to
you
bounce
going
from the
solo
player.
self-found?
And Time Rot is now a
I
viable,
don't think so.
distinctly unique damaging ailment for Void Knights.
But I
We're
don't
also
trade
very
often.
excited to bring a new skill to Marksman, Heartseeker. Heartseeker shoots a single target arrow that seeks a nearby targeted enemy and has a chance to recurve, meaning it pierces and comes back to hit the target again. When building for Heartseeker, you'll likely want to increase the recurve chance, allowing it to pierce and hit the same enemy many times. If the target is destroyed, and Heartseeker would have recurved, it will instead seek another nearby target. Heartseeker's skill tree gives options to be converted to fire and cold, has lots of support for poison and bleed, can be used as utility to generate mana and different shrouds, and even to provide global buffs granting added throwing and spell damage. You can also remove the base functionality where Heartseeker seeks a new target after slaying the first, and instead turn those leftover recurves into puncture skill procs that fire towards nearby enemies. Heartseeker requires 30 points in the marksman tree, and Hail of Arrows has been moved to the 35-point skill unlock slot. Season 2 is bringing quite a lot of balance changes. Health builds are generally more effective as there is much more access to health modifiers across the game. Health affixes and health regeneration have been buffed, and health granted per level has been increased. Ward builds are still powerful, but outliers allowing for massive ward generation have been rebalanced. In general, many skills have received buffs, as our goal is to make many more builds viable for in-game content, and previous meta builds that were overperforming have been brought in line. Skills such as Black Hole, Elemental Nova, Tornado, Flurry, and Shurikens have had their damage effectiveness increased. We expect there to be a lot of new builds that players are excited to try out in Season 2. Idle enchantments and new non-class specific Weaver idols will also raise the power level for all builds. Many unique items have received a pass to help make them more useful. For example, Eye of Reen can once again be used with Warpath and other skills which hit with indirect attacks. Boulder's Wrath can proc Earthquake twice as much as before. And Stormbreaker can now gain Storm stacks instead of a small chance to cast Lightning Strike. We've also applied some quality of life updates to multiple skills, like Warcry's Berserk lasting 50% longer. Dreadshade no longer has a duration. You can hold 3 black arrows from Dark Quiver at once. And we've increased the amount of shortcutting you can do with movement skills by increasing the distance you can travel with them over gaps. Loot lizards will spawn a bit less baseline in Season 2, but there will be more scenarios where you'll be excited to find them, and you can also increase their spawn rate via the Weaver tree.
Loot
in Season
lizards.
2, we're introducing 25 new unique items. This includes 8 new Weaver's Will uniques and 4 early backer uniques. About half of these are tied to new tombs, cemeteries, and Woven Echo bosses, while the other half expand on the overarching drop
Chad, I
pool.
ordered some food.
And there are plenty of additional improvements coming with Season 2 to be excited about. You can now respec your mastery for gold in the End of Time. The cost of respecializing your mastery is a lot cheaper in the lower to mid levels, so it's easier to experiment, but it increases as your character level goes up. We're introducing a beta version of WASD movement. You can access this via the settings gameplay menu.
WASD
We'll be monitoring player
movement?
feedback on this implementation, and we're excited to hear your feedback. We have updated the inventory to have tabs to separate out keys and the new Woven Echoes. And we've also introduced automatic storing as an option that will be on by default. So that when you pick up crafting items like shards, they will immediately go to your crafting materials panel.
I think I could play
Both of these updates make inventory management much nicer and needing to be dealt with much less frequently. For Gamepad, we have completely reworked skill targeting, which improves every single skill and skill mutation, making targeting and using abilities more intuitive and responsive.
That's nice.
We can also now make updates to individual skills targeting.
This looks nice. This, I'm sorry, but the way he's moving around a boss like this actually looks skillful.
Frequently.
And good.
For Gamepad, we have completely reworked skill targeting, which improves every single skill and skill mutation,
dashing,
making targeting and using abilities more intuitive and responsive. We can also now make updates to individual skills targeting much more easily, so we'll be looking for your feedback and improving these even further. There are a ton of additional updates and fixes in Season 2, and we invite you to read the full patch notes on our forum. Along with all these incredible updates coming in Season 2, we're excited to announce a new batch of supporter packs known as the Woven series. Each of these 4 supporter packs offers new and unique ways to customize your appearance, and the team has cooked up some pretty amazing offerings. Starting with the Woven Traveler pack.
Okay, how much
we
is
really
it?
wanted
How much
our
money we
entry-level
talking,
pack
chat?
to have some pretty awesome stuff. And what better way to travel
I
through
got my
Terra
wallet,
than with
chat.
your own
I got my wallet. How
capybara
much
pet?
money?
That's right, it wasn't an April Fool's joke after all. You will also score 2 new weapon cosmetics, a backslot cosmetic, and all new color arrangements for your evade skill. That's right, with Season 2, we've implemented skill cosmetics, and you'll find many more in the in-game store. The Woven Templar is the next tier in the Woven series and brings some serious heat. To start, you get all of the cosmetics from the Woven Traveler, and then, to kick off the Templar pack, we start with a full cosmetic armor set known as the Bronze Scale Plate. But the fire doesn't stop there. You're also getting Yoshok's Destroyer, a massive 2-handed hammer cosmetic, a new portal skin, another fiery evade cosmetic, and the first look at the fire footprint cosmetic,
evade.
and an additional 100 epoch points to use in the in-game cosmetic shop. Up next, and second tier in the Woven series, is the Woven Vanquisher Supporter Pack, and this pack is charged and ready. As with the previous tiers, the Woven Vanquisher Supporter Pack also includes all cosmetic items from the Woven Templar and Woven Traveler packs. Kicking off the Woven Vanquisher's pack, players will harness the power of the Storm with the Thunderfang cosmetic armor set.
None of the ARPGs.
You'll also receive the Tempest Gate Portal,
I don't like 'em.
Storm Drake Wings Back Attachment, Storm Dragon Staff, Storm Walker Evade Effect, and Lightning Footprints. And finally, if you're looking to get everything the Woven series of supporter packs has to offer, then the top tier Woven Legends supporter pack is the one for you.
That's the kind of cosmetics
Harnessing
that I
the visual prowess of the Weaver herself,
but I'll take some of these
don the
wings.
Woven Disciple cosmetic armor set. Be sure to bring along your faithful companion, the Thread Strider pet. You will also receive 4 unique evade cosmetics and the Weaver Footprints visual effect. The Woven Legends supporter pack also includes all of the cosmetic offerings from the Woven Vanquisher, Woven Templar, and Woven Traveler supporter packs. This really is the get everything pack.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that pack. How much is it?
We're also adding many more items you can purchase with epoch points in the store, including those awesome new skill cosmetic effects. We sincerely appreciate your support and hope you enjoy Last Epoch Season 2. Thank you for your patience, as this one took a bit longer to get out, but we hope that the wait was worth it, and we'll aim to be delivering seasonal patches more quickly going forward. Thank you for your support, and we'll see you in Terra for the launch of Tombs of the Erased on April 17th.
He can punch my throat with his dick. Not so fast. Hit that subscription button before you head out. How about that?